newspapers. Mr. Governor, like you mentioned, you said inflation continues to be a problem to the economy, not only here, but even globally. At 21.9% year on year in October, it is really concerning. So what is the way out, sir, of this conundrum?
To all central banks, inflation is indeed a very, very big headache. And even at this time, it's a big challenge to everybody. This is because everybody knows what impact inflationary pressures can have on the purchasing power of particularly the ordinary people. And these are the people that mainly we have been given the responsibility to make sure that a worsening, inflationary pressure does not totally push them further down into the poverty ladder. However, it is important for us to know that some of the causative factors why the inflationary pressures have persisted since the early part of this year, which includes the Russian-Ukraine war, is not abating yet. The war is still going on very aggressively. US is still raising rates, which therefore will naturally not only lead to outflow of funds to the United States and advanced economies, but will even prevent flows from coming out. Not only that, not just that flows are not coming out, those flows are coming even at very high rates, even within the United States. As a result, financial market conditions globally have tightened, and this is also creating a very great challenge for central banks or policymakers, particularly those that may want to access debt to run their operations. And lastly, of course, the issue of the China market slowdown, the China slowdown is also a big issue for the global economy. So I would like to say that these same scenarios still remain in the Nigerian environment, and as a result, we would continue to see the inflationary pressure remaining persistent. However, we feel comforted that the rate of increase in prices, in which case the rate of increase in inflation is moderating gradually in Nigeria. For instance, between June and July, the rate of month-on-month inflation was 1.82%. Between July and August, the rate of month-on-month inflation was 1.7%. Between the month of August and September, the month-on-month rate of inflation was 1.3%. And between September and October, the month-on-month rate of inflation was 1.2%. So for us, we feel that even though the time-tested monetary policy theory expects that at the time when there's inflationary pressures that we would continue to tighten, we'll continue to raise rates, but for us in Nigeria, we feel happy that the decisions that we took in May, in July, in September have started to yield results because the aggressive nature at which we see the inflationary pressures are abating and it is in fact declining, and we are hoping that all things being equal, because economists must talk about all things ceteris paribus, that this trend will be sustained and we begin to see that the inflation rate will come down. So our way out remains that we will continue to see what can be done, but you could see that because we've started to see that the rate of increase in prices is moderating gradually, month on month, we were aggressive in September in fact, raising CRR by 5% to 2.5, and also raising NPR by 150 basis points. But at this meeting, we saw majority saying, let us moderate it and do the rate of increase by 100 basis points. Indeed, 2 members saying that they would have wanted, if they had a chance, they would have wanted the rate of increase in rates to be at 50 basis points. So I would say the monetary policy is looking at it, and I believe that in the course of time, we will see an improvement in the macroeconomic environment.